Hello my dear friends, welcome to the channel. So in this lecture we are going to start a new chapter in the physics, that is our first chapter, electrostatics, in class 12th. So here first coming to the definition of the electrostatics, right? So here statics, this word actually refers to rest, right? First we should have to understand static. What does static refers to? Static refers to rest. Rest in the sense something is not moving, right? We know rest in the sense something is not moving, right? So what my question is here, I'm just making a simple question here. Does static objects, that is rest objects, experiences force or not? So it's a very simple question what I asked here. I'm asking you, does static objects experiences force or not? For many of the people the answer will be no, static objects doesn't experience any force. But in physics, static objects experiences force. For sure static objects experiences force. It is what you studied in 11th standard. For example, you can take a chair here. For example, a boy standing here. If you are applying 2 Newton force in this direction, for sure this boy will move in this direction. If you apply the force 2 Newton in the negative x-axis direction, so as the forces are equal and opposite to each other, these forces will get cancel out each other and this object will be at static. So forces can never be seen, forces can be felt, right? We can feel the force, we cannot see the force. You should have to understand, we cannot see the force but we can experience the force, we can feel the force, yeah. So here this boy is feeling this force which I have given, that is 2 Newton. So in both the directions the forces are equal and opposite to each other, that's why the forces are getting cancelled out each other and this object still at static. Do this boy experiencing a force or not? For sure this boy is experiencing a force. I applied 2 Newton in this direction and then I applied 2 Newton in this direction. As the forces are equal and opposite to each other, this boy is at static. So from this explanation you would have understood, for any object to be at the static state, there will be surely equal and opposite force, right? For example, in laws of motion chapter, yeah, no. So it is a table here. In this table a pen is there or a book is there, yeah. So whatever be it is, a pen is there or a book is there. This book while kept in the table is not falling down. For example, you can take this pen, if I leave this pen is falling down. You know the reason why it is falling down, because of the gravitational force. Everybody knows the reason. Just because I'm leaving this pen is experiencing the gravitational force and falling down. But when I'm keeping on the palm of my hands, it is not falling down. Why the object is at static still? Because my palm is exactly giving the same force in upward direction. Actually this pen is experiencing a gravitational force. Even though this pen is experiencing a gravitational force, this pen is not falling down because my palm is giving equivalent force in upward direction, which is cancelling out each other, and this object becomes a static. So each and every object in the universe, each and every static object in the universe experiencing force. You cannot say that this static object is not experiencing force. Even we are experiencing the gravitational force, right? You would have studied, this is normal reaction. This force is known as normal reaction. It is a contact force. It is the mg, that is gravitational force. Gravitational force is pulling this book down. is pulling this book down. Still, this book is not falling down because an equivalent force normal reaction is acting in upward direction. That is why you studied N is equal to mg. So here the conclusion is, does that static object experiences force or not? Yeah, static object experiences force. You should have to understand. This is what I just tried to make you understand. So static object experiences force. So here this electro is referring to charge, right? That means we can say, if you're going to study about rest charges, I'm speaking about rest charges, or you can even say in precise manner that is static charges. So if you study about that, then it is known as electrostatics, right? You should have to know one more thing, right? Actually, you should have to know electromagnetism before going to electrostatics. Electromagnetism, it is a branch in the physics which deals with two things. One is electrostatics. See, this electromagnetism has two subdivisions. That is, one is the electrostatics and second one is electrodynamics. Both the things comes under, electrostatics and electrodynamics, both the things comes under the branch of physics, electromagnetism. So here it is a branch which is going to deal with electrostatics and electrodynamics. It is your first volume in class 12th. In electrostatics, you are going to deal with electric charges and fields. It has been divided into two subdivisions in class 12th in Cbse syllabus: electric charges and fields, and then electrostatic potential and capacitance. Yeah, so in electrostatics you are going to learn these two chapters, that is electric charges and fields and electrostatic potential and capacitance. So what is electrodynamics? I'm just giving you the introduction of the first volume book. Yeah, so here electrodynamics, dynamics in the sense moving objects, right? Moving objects can even you can even say kinematics. What is the difference between the kinematics and the dynamics? There is a major difference between the kinematics and dynamics. In kinematics, you will not study the cause of the motion. Cause of the motion in the sense why this object is moving. I would have given some force to this object in this direction. I would have applied some force in this pen to move in this particular direction. But in kinematics we will not study the cause why this object is moving. But in dynamics we will study the cause, with how much force this pen is moving along in this direction. How much force does this guy applied on this pen to move in this particular direction? We will study the cause of the motion, why this object is moving, what force it is experiencing. We will study the cause, but in kinematics we will not study the cause. That is why it is electrodynamics, moving objects, and we will even consider the force here. We will see what is the cause for that particular motion, which force this pen or any other object is experiencing, whether it is gravitational force or whether it is the electrostatic force or whether it is the magnetic force. So there are so many types of forces. So we will see what is a type of what is a cause for this particular motion and which force is experiencing. We will discuss in detail electrodynamics in the upcoming chapters. So in the electrodynamics there are so many divisions. I will just write it down here. What are the things we are going to study in electrodynamics? First one is the current electricity. Current electricity, I think it would be clear. Yeah, current electricity. Then Second one is moving charges and magnetism. Then third one is alternating current, AC, you can say AC, full form is alternating current. And fourth one is EMF, right? I think EMF or EMI, sorry, it is EMI, electromagnetic induction. It is a chapter what we will study, electromagnetic induction. So in electrodynamics we are going to see all these chapter, and all these chapter are there in your first volume of physics. So it is the introduction lecture for the first volume of physics, and I just here defined the electrostatics, that is deals with electrostatics is a branch in the physics, right? It is a branch in the electromagnetism which deals with static charges. So as it is an introduction, I just given you the definition for the electrostatics, and I made you understand that static objects do experiences force. And then I just given you the introduction actually from what branch we are going to study. It is an electromagnetism branch. So our first volume, it is a part of the electromagnetism branch. So these are all the things we are going to study in this year from the electromagnetism branch, that is first volume book. So these are the things we are going to deal with. So in the next lecture we will study about the charges, because we should have to learn first what is a charge. After understanding about the charge, we will move to the next one, that is Coulomb's law, electric field, and then we will move to electrostatic potential and capacitance. So many things are there to deal with. So if you do like my video, do subscribe, share it with your friends, comment. If you have any doubts, you can ask me in the comment section. Your doubts will be cleared as soon as possible as I can.